Ubisoft have just announced the new content and changes coming into Year 8 Season 3. And like last season, I'm doing a little video, little summary of the most important changes coming, since some of you can't be bothered to watch the full 30 minutes. Fair enough. So Season 3 introduces a new attacker, Ram, yes, that's actually her name, with a new destructive drone, which literally looks like a tank. This new drone can be thrown onto the floor and then remotely activated to make lots of verticality. Not to mention the amount of noise this little tank makes is mental. Thank you to Cole Ross for actually allowing me to use his clip from Twitter. It just shows how loud this thing actually is. You're definitely going to be able to get some sneaky plants down whilst this thing's going off. She's a 1-speed, 3 health operator, so she's quite slow, equipped with either the Sophia LMG or Ash's R4C, with the choice of 1.5 or 2 times scopes. I think we all know what gun 90% of the community is going to pick for this operator. There are counters to this drone, such as impacts, nitros, and shooting the big bright red canister on the back of it. You can also mute it, but it has to be before it even starts. So it's electronic before it's activated by what's her name, Ram, but after it is activated you can't mute it as it's no longer classed as an electronic gadget. She has a good little loadout here with the choice of hard breach or stuns, so she's gonna look like an interesting pick. You can also throw these outside of the building, so like when you're just rappelling on the window you can just throw it in just about. This thing looks hefty. So quick match is actually being updated, it's been reworked so that when you spawn in as a defender the site is already set up with reinforcements and rotates. They claim that there's 2 variations per site and it's chosen at random which variation is picked. So yeah, when you spawn in, you're going to have rotates and reinforcements down already. An interesting change that I'm sure people are going to complain about, but I am actually quite interested to see how well this is going to work. As an attacker, you also have 10 seconds of anti-spawn peak, like a grace period, so you can actually enter the building or get to the building without dying instantly. I'm interested to hear what you guys think of this. But yeah, these changes are planned to make quick match just a whole lot quicker. I believe the round times are also being shortened. Unranked is unchanged except from their renaming it. And there's also a new arcade mode called Weapon Roulette, and that changes the gun every short amount of time. They didn't actually say a specific time, like every 30 seconds or whatever, but it does look like a fun way to try new weapons and attachments if you're too used to, you know, being an Ash main or Yana. There's quite a few operator changes coming to next season. We'll start with Fuze. So Fuze can now actually place his cluster charges on deployable shields and also OSA shields, which looks like a saucy combo. I'm looking forward to seeing some good plays of this. Grim is now getting part 2 to his buff, allowing him to bounce hive balls, is that what they're called, off of surfaces. So instead of it activating on impact, you can now actually bounce it round a corner. This is a new mode to his launcher, so you can still have that impact option if you want. It's much like the Sophia launcher where you can just sort of switch between it. Yeah, an interesting change. Grim's probably gone from one of the worst ops to one of the most versatile. Frost is still getting her rework. Yes, they kept with the rework even though it got a lot of backlash. And if you haven't heard it already, basically what this means is that if you step into a frost mat, you can now get yourself out of it as an attacker. However, if you do, you are faced with quite a big debuff where you'll be stuck at walking speed and will leave a trail of blood for 60 seconds. If you allow your teammates to get you out the frost mat, like you usually would on the live build, you won't get any debuffs. Lesion is also getting a change that wasn't spoken about in the reveal, but its traps are now visible to players, but have also been changed in a way to still make them useful. So they actually work at a radius now. It's quite a small radius, but you don't actually have to step on it for it to activate. They've actually gone back to giving you initial damage when you do activate it, and this damage can also be stacked. So the more you step in, the more damage you're going to take. But I may do a separate video on this, just going into detail about it. OSA only has 1 shield, but it cannot be smashed by melee. I can't confirm how true this change is. I haven't seen any evidence of it. It's just from what I've heard. So take that with a pinch of salt. Shotguns have actually been changed. Didn't see that coming. So they're actually getting reworked to be significantly better at range when aiming down the sight. So when you ADS, you'll have a lot more precision and you still have the spread when you're hip firing. Whilst we're on hip firing as well, actually, they've made it so that all shotguns, except from slug shotguns like Kaid, behave the same as the bailiff. Some of you may already know what that means, but for those who don't, the shotguns will have more spread when moving, making it more efficient at creating rotates. They've introduced a new tutorial for newer players, which will cover the basics and situations, which is also voiced by Mirror and Zero. You can now commend your teammates based on being calm and positive, reliable and engaging, and knowledgeable and guiding. Very similar to the Overwatch commendment system. And if you're on a streak of being commended, you will receive packs mid-season and at the end of season, I believe. You also have the option to commend your enemies as well on being a worthy opponent, which I doubt any of you will do, to be honest. And lastly, the most important change this season has brung. After 8 years, the devs have finally added this feature, highly requested since day one. It's honestly going to change the game entirely. It's literally on the same level of when Rockstar added heists to GTA Online. They've added the option to kick your teammate from the lobby. Let's go. And also promote to leader after 8 years. 8 years it took to add this. Anyway, that is all the important changes I feel I should tell you guys about. There are more, of course, little ones, such as free cam in match replay, but I'd like to keep this short and sweet with only the vital stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, if you want, or both. Okay. Goodbye.